Hello and welcome. It's Nimasa this week, the voice of maritime, a program designed to educate you about the goings-on within the Nigerian shipping and maritime space. Nimasa this week is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, the nation's apex regulator and promoter of activities within the Nigerian maritime industry, activities including shipping, maritime labor, the management of our marine environment to prevent pollution, safety of life at sea, the participation of Nigerians in harnessing our maritime potential, what we now know as the blue economy, and of course, maritime security. My name is Ubongisien, your guide on this voyage.
You are watching Nimasa this week.
Nimasa this week.
Nimasa this week.
Nimasa this week.
It's the voice of maritime.
The voice of maritime.
The voice of maritime.
Please stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Nimasa this week, the voice of maritime, showing on these stations.
Welcome back. It's still Nimasa this week, the voice of maritime, and straight up is the DJ's diary. Dr. Bashir Jamo went out this week to the naval dockyard. What did he go there to do? You'll find out on the DJ's diary. We also have Know Your Convention and our other regulars. So if you're ready, it's anchors away.
Introducing the Nimasa Distress Response Call Lines for all maritime stakeholders, ship owners, seafarers, ship captains. Whatever your challenge or distress in the Nigerian maritime domain, please call 0803 0685 167, 0708 0005 956, 0700 0700 010. If you can't reach us on these lines, please call 0700 0700 020, 0700 0700 030. Also via VHF Radio Channel 16. Call and Nimasa will respond. The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, Dr. Bashir Jamo, has applauded the Nigerian Navy for its partnership in the area of shipping development through the activities of the Naval Dockyard Limited in Lagos. The DG made this commendation during the on-site visit for the dual purpose of inspecting the progress of work on the dry docking of the 4 Nimasa enforcement boats and to also ascertain the progress of the reactivation of the multi-billion naira Nimasa floating dry dock.
I appreciate your patience, understanding for allowing us to get the benefit of the dockyard. I think this signifies the importance of cooperation, coordination, collaborations, and communications among the stakeholders, especially Nimasa and Nigerian Navy. We cannot function without Nigerian Navy because we don't have arms, we don't have the expertise, tactical expertise to do the maritime security. So in the area of maritime security, that's why we have the Deep Blue Project. And all the asset that belongs to Deep Blue Project is being manned by Nigerian Navy. Part of my scheduled visit here is to see our modular floating dock. Yes, so maybe very soon we will be dry docking also your vessels. And we look forward also to secondment of some of your experts to work in the modular floating dock.
It will be recalled that 4 months ago, the DG had visited the naval dockyard at the early stages of the dry docking exercise for the enforcement boats and was quite impressed with the current level of progress on the dry docking of the boats.
All the boats they are about to finish to complete the work, and last week they promised that they will deliver 2. They have taken me to one. It was completely done. He repeated it that before concluding everything, he will deliver his promises by, releasing the 2 vessels to us. Only the 2 remain there, and the explanation given to me was the aluminum plates at the bottom is a little bit difficult. It has to go on through processes, and those processes takes time before they can be able to mount the aluminum plates. From my inspection last week, it appears they are almost done with the aluminum plates. And last 4 months that I came, he took me to the warehouse where I inspected the engines.
On the state of the boats, which are critical for the agency's daily compliance enforcement and inspection operations in the Nigerian waters, the DG commended the Navy for a job well done, as evidenced in the significant progress from 4 months earlier when he visited to inspect the state of vessels.
Assess the issue of pollution, conduct search and rescue. If you look at the 2 vessels there, they are for pollution control. We don't have any now. So it's the Navy now, they are now beefing them up. So presently, we don't have the expertise. Even if we rent a vessel, we get there, the vessel doesn't have the prerequisite requirement and technology to assess the level of the pollutions we experience from that tanker. And then secondly, the issue of search and rescue. If you look at the vessel also, you will see search and rescue vessel there. They don't also have the prerequisite requirement for the search and rescue. Without iota of doubt, the revival of this vessel is taking us to another milestone in terms of our own mandate and achieving our own mandate. When you don't have the equipment, you will be helpless. Yes, you can borrow and or take a kind of rented boats to go to the site. But if you go to the site, you will be watching people get burning, and there is nothing you can do because you don't have the expertise. But this search and rescue vessels, they have the capacity of search and rescue and basic life supports. So you go and search. When you find a human being, you rescue the human being. And maybe because of smoke and psychological trauma and other things like that, he may not be in his right frame of mind. The next thing you have to do, the basic life support. You support that particular individual. Our ships for search and rescue, they have such capabilities and equipment to address those issues. But before now, they were grounded. So I think I'm very happy today to say that we have this requirement now that can beef up our own mandate to ensure that we achieve what we are supposed to achieve in line with the act establishing the agency.
Speaking on the operationality of the naval dockyard, the DG called on Nigerians to patronize the naval dockyard.
I think it's high time for Nigerians to patronize the naval dockyard so that all the foreign exchange we are spending in Benin Republic and Ghana, Togo, we can be able to roll it back to our own economy. The problem with our maritime industry in terms of economy is the least tapped in terms of gains and benefits. So these are the hidden areas where billions of dollars is being sunk because we don't want to patronize them. So the rest is for us to build the confidence of our own ship owners to know and understand that the operations of naval dockyard is not a kind of public sector oriented dockyard. It's a private sector oriented because it's just like an arm of holdings which the Navy tried to create in addition to the value added they are making. Last time I came, I saw a team of officers divided into two. I asked question. I said, what are all these people, and this, why are they having uniform, this one they don't have uniform? And they explained to me that our staff here in Naval Dockyard, we have a number of civilians that work here. So in terms of employment generation, the Naval Dockyard not only use their own officers of men in uniform and women, but also the civilians also do come here and take job opportunities to be employed here.
After the interactive session with the outgoing Admiral Superintendent of the Naval Dockyard, Rear Admiral Kohat Levi, and his incoming successor, Rear Admiral H. Ibrahim, the DG proceeded to the location of the Nimasa floating dock for an on-the-spot assessment and received a briefing from the foreign experts currently saddled with the reactivation of the floating dock. The floating dock, since its arrival to the country in June 2018, is nearing the final stages for commissioning and business use under a PPP arrangement brokered by the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICRC, who in September 2021 awarded a certificate of compliance to the agency, affirming that the Nimasa modular floating dock is viable and bankable. It is the third leg of the Bashiru Jamo Nimasa performance tripod of shipping development.
Hello viewers, welcome to the Know Your Convention segment on Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime. I am Olabisi George, and today we'll be speaking on the International Convention on Anti-Fouling. And to have that conversation with me is Mrs. Kemafo Ibemere of the Marine Environment Management Department of Nimasa. You're welcome, Mrs. Kemafo. And also Mrs. Chibuzo Okoye Daniels, also of the Marine Environment Management Department of Nimasa. You're both welcome.
Thank you. Sir.
Okay, so quickly, Mrs. Kemafo, what exactly is Anti-Fouling Convention about?
Indeed, BC, the full name of the convention is the International Convention on Control of Harmful Anti-Fouling Systems on Ship 2001. It is also called the AFS Convention. It was established in 2001 but came into force in 2008. Nigeria is a party to this convention. So it was ratified in Nigeria in 2003 but domesticated in 2012 as can seen in the Merchant Shipping Regulation 2012. Thank you.
It's part of Nigerian law.
Exactly.
Yes, very good introduction, Mrs. Kemafor. But what exactly is anti-fouling? How did it come about, anti-fouling? What does anti-fouling do? Give us an insight into what exactly anti-fouling is.
At the heart of this convention is the prohibition of the use of harmful substances in the production of anti-fouling paint. What are we talking about? Anti-fouling paints are paints used to protect the hull of the ship against microorganisms and seaweeds that may be harmful to the ship. Perhaps I should go on and explain. As the ship sails, microorganisms, bacteria, algae, seaweeds, they tend to attach themselves to the hull of the ship, forming a colony, making that place their home, a settlement. As time goes on, they feast on the hull of the ship, weakening it, finally destroying the ship. In the same way too, these paints we say use to protect the hull of the ship. As the ship sails, they tend to wear off, seeping into the water and in the environment, causing harm, being toxic to both human and the aquatic life. So the objective of this convention is this. Let there be, is to ensure a sustainable balance between safeguarding the hull, the ship, and protection of human and aquatic life. It's all about sustainability of the environment.
So in other words, the convention tries to regulate the kind of anti-fouling paint that is used on the hull of the ship, I guess.
Exactly.
So Mrs. Daniels, Mrs. Kemafor has just given us the background into the convention. What would you say is the actual objective, or who exactly or what vessel or ship does this convention apply to?
The main objective of the convention, of the AFS convention, is to prohibit the use of organotin compounds. These are harmful compounds like tributylene and cytobutylene. To prohibit the use of such organotin compounds as anti-fouling systems. So, and then because these organotin compounds have been found to affect marine life, cause deformation in oysters, they can cause sex changes in whales. Oh, really? Yes, there are research that has actually proved these cases. So, and then that's the main objective of the convention. Then when you talk about the application, it applies to every ship that is 400 gross tonnage and above, that is on international voyage, and it applies including FPSOs and FSUs. Initially,
what do you mean by FPSOs?
That's they are floating storage units. Okay. These are offshore platforms. It applies to them. Then it applies to ships, vessels of 24 meters or more in length, or less than 400 gross tonnage. Then it does not apply to, just as it applies to the 400 gross tonnage and the 24 meters and above, it also does not apply to warships, naval auxiliary vessels, and government vessels that are involved in non-commercial services.
Any particular reasons for the exclusions?
Actually, those ones, like I said earlier on, it applies to vessels on international voyage. And we realize that those vessels are not on international voyage. And because we are party to the convention, obviously those vessels would have been, would have been painted with anti-fouling systems without organotin compounds.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Thank you, Mrs. Kemafor.
You're welcome.
So, Mrs. Kemafor, in all your answers, both yourself and Mrs. Daniels, you've kept on repeating some chemical organotin or something like that. So what exactly are these chemical compounds about?
The most notorious of these harmful substances are the organotins and the cybotrins. Organotin compounds like the tributane she just mentioned, they are organic compounds of tin. Tin is a metal. Then the cybotrins are organic compounds of sulfur. The scientists, the environmentalists, IMO, they have declared these compounds toxic and harmful to both human and aquatic life.
I can imagine how dangerous, because she mentioned sex changes in some of the sea aquatic microorganisms. Any other side effects apart from?
It can really affect human too. Health issues to the organs.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Since the convention expressly prohibits some chemicals, are there any ones in the convention that that the convention expressly mentions that can be used?
The convention did not expressly list alternatives.
Okay.
But in use, the alkyled enamels, even sulfur compounds, they are tolerable, they are still in use, and until research prove otherwise, they are still in use.
Our world-class Maritime Experience Center is now live, announcing Maritime Stakeholders Experience Contact Center, MSECC, where you'll get simple, fast, and tailored solutions to all your maritime challenges on maritime safety, maritime labor, marine pollution, search and rescue, cabotage issues, ship registration, training and certification, and any other maritime-related issues. Contact us via the following channels: 23401 630 9590. Email us at contactcenter@nimasa.gov.ng, info@nimasa.gov.ng. Chat with us www.nimasa.gov.ng and on Facebook at Nimasa Official. Let's resolve all your maritime related issues.
It's still Nimasa this week, the voice of Maritime, and it's time for the Maritime Mandate, the weekly column written by the DG of Nimasa in the Guardian newspapers. And this week, the DG looks at how the blue economy can help in attaining some of the sustainable development goals. You can continue the conversation with the DG by following him on all of his social media handles. And of course, the DG has a tweet for the week, and it is with regards to maritime safety. We all know of the unfortunate explosion of the FPSO Trinity Spirit at the Ukpokiti terminal. We have dispatched a joint investigation team of relevant agencies comprising Nimasa, NOSDRA, NUPRC, formerly DPR, and the environment agencies of Ondo and Bayelsa states for a preliminary assessment. You can also extend your conversation to all of our official Nimasa social media platforms, all of them at Nimasa Official. However, when it comes to doing business within Nigeria's maritime space, it is important to emphasize again and again that because maritime is heavily regulated, your first port of call for all the critical information you need to guide you remains the Nimasa official website. And that website is currently displayed on your screen. And that's because Nimasa bears oversight when it comes to the regulations governing activities of shipping in the Nigerian maritime space. Thank you for watching today's episode of Nimasa This Week, the Voice of Maritime. And we hope that you found some useful information to guide you and your interest as it relates to the Nigerian maritime industry. Remember that great novelist Ernest Hemingway, who once said that it is good to have an end to journey towards, but it is the journey that matters in the end. So as you journey through life, I urge you to stay on course. My name remains Ubong Isien, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.